Hello, you guys. Thank you for joining me again. This is week 2 of the live. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm Crystal Booth, okay? And we're going to go deeper into meeting your nervous system. Why you react the way you do. Why did we react the way we do? Okay? All right. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. Really, really appreciate you joining me for this wonderful event. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. All right. All right. We're here. I want you to say you're live. You're live. Okay. All right. Live. I'm here, Crystal. Just, let me know. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me know. Okay. So I thank you guys for being with me. All right. It is a busy day today. I know everybody has been out there doing everything that they needed to do today. All right. And so I'm glad you guys took some time to drop in here today. And yeah, be with me as we go deeper into how to meet your nervous system and why you react the way you do. Okay. All right. So if you can identify these dormant nervous system states without shame, things are going to start changing for you. Okay. Things are really going to start taking a shift in the right direction. So I'm Crystal Booth. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I'm also you know, the author of Deep Inner Soul Healing with Self Empathy, and also I do this show, Trauma Talks, here every week. I post content related to trauma, and this is today isn't any other day. It's not like any other day. Actually, it's not like any other day, to be honest with you. Okay, the reason why it's not like any other day, you guys, is because we are going live. Okay, we're going live, and we're going to be going live for the next 24 days. All right. So we're going to be going live. All right. So hopefully you guys are able to tune in. Okay. All right. This is going to be educational. It's going to be empowering, and it's going to help you stabilize your nervous system. Okay. So before we talk about, you know, the regulation tools and everything that we're going to be talking about, the emotional regulation tools. All right, you guys, how do we regulate? How do we, you know, stop reacting? you know, reacting to the things that we're reacting to. Okay. All right. So before we go into that, you guys, I want you to put your feet flat on the floor. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. You can even take off your shoes. Okay. Because we're going to do a grounding exercise, you guys. Okay. I'm not going to show you my feet, promise you. But ground your feet, ground yourself on the floor. Just get really, really relaxed. Okay. Before we get into this, okay. All right, feet flat on the floor, back supported. I'm gonna do the same, okay? All right, one hand on your chest and inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, again, let your shoulders soften, okay? If you have any kind of wardrobe issues like me, don't worry about it, okay? I'm right there with you. So, again, we're gonna do it. Let your shoulders soften. Tonight's not about judging your reaction, you guys. It's not what this is about. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is only to start to help you to come out of the, survival brain, out of your, anxiety or anything that may be going on, anything that you might have gone through today, because this is at the end of the day. And that's why we're doing it at the end of the day. So we can really, really help you show up for yourself at the end of the day. Hopefully, you transition this into showing up for yourself at the beginning of the day too, when you start your day. Okay, maybe we'll do some early morning stuff too. But for right now, we're just doing the evening. That's what we were able to do. So tonight is not going to be about judging your reactions, okay? It's not what it's about. It's about understanding your nervous system, okay? So we have to learn to understand our nervous system, okay? You're not dramatic. You got to realize that. And you're not weak. And you're definitely not too much, okay? I know people say that you're too much, but you're not, okay? You're responding to wiring. Okay. That's why I do anger management. We do anger management here because a lot of people think that they're too much, that they're too dramatic, and they don't realize that they're just responding to wiring. Okay. All right. They're just responding to what they're experiencing in their body. And if I'm able to help you get in touch with your body, then you can then begin to take control of how you're feeling. Okay. All right. And that's what I want for you. All right. So wiring can be understood. It can be understood. All right. So your nervous system has one job. So I want to introduce you to your nervous system states. That's what we're going to talk about. The different nervous system states. So get your pen and paper, get comfortable. We did our little grounding exercise. Okay. All right. And so we're going to talk about, your nervous system and how it has one job. That's what your nervous system's main job is, to keep you alive. That's what your nervous system job is supposed to do. It does this through three primary states. Your nervous system keeps you alive through three primary states: fight, flight, or freeze mode. That's it. Fight, flight, or freeze. Not personality traits. That's not how your nervous system keeps you alive, through personality traits, okay? Okay. Okay, protective responses. That's what this is all about. Protective responses. And that's why a lot of times you react the way you react. So fight mode says, I need control. I need control. Fight mode. Okay. Imagine that. Okay. Flight mode says, I need to get out. I need to get out. This is your nervous system protecting you. Fight, flight, or freeze mode, right? Like I said, okay? All right. The freeze mode is, I need to shut down to protect me. So sometimes this is what your nervous system is saying. I need to fight. I need to take control. I need to flight. I need to get out of there. I need to freeze. I need to emotionally shut down, mentally shut down. My nervous system needs to shut down. That's how we're going to protect ourselves. We're just going to shut down. Are you following me here? Maybe if you got some pen and paper, this will be a great time to pull it out. Be a great time. These responses, you guys, they're not something that you're planning. These are automatic nervous system responses, autonomic nervous system responses, and they happen automatically. Okay, they happen before you think. They happen when you're not even in your logical brain, so to speak. You're not thinking this through necessarily. This is just a normal reaction, okay? All right, that people will have, okay? So your body reacts first. Your mind explains it later. So your body reacts first and your mind explains it later. Okay? So if you got angry, that was you fight. You got angry? That was you going into, I got to control this. I need to control to stay safe. Okay? And most people shame themselves for reacting when they were actually trying to protect themselves from what their nervous system perceived as danger. Their nervous system perceived this as danger. So that's why they reacted the way they did. Okay? If you just jumped on, I'm Crystal Booth. Just say you're live. Okay? That's all I need. I just want to know you're there. Okay? And we're going to take this all the way where we need to take it to. Okay? All right? So hopefully you follow me. So we're going to do the first exercise, state identification. Okay? This is a 5-minute exercise. Well, might not take us 5 minutes to do it, but we allocated 5 minutes for it. Okay. All right. So I want you to think about the last time you were triggered. Maybe you were triggered for anger. Okay. Don't choose your worst trauma. All right. Choose something mild for this one. Okay. I don't want you to get too upset. And then you're like, Miss Crystal, I feel so horrible. And then, I'm off work. I'm not even going to be able to help you later on. So just choose something, really, really like mild. Okay. All right. Now ask yourself if you picked it, let me know you picked it. Say, I picked it, Crystal. I picked it. Okay. All right. Choose something really mild and ask yourself, did I move towards confrontation? Ask yourself that question. Or did I move away from discomfort? Or did I shut down completely? So, really, essentially, what you're asking yourself is, did I go into fight? Did I go into flight? Or did I go into freeze mode? You got to ask yourself those questions because you kind of got to get used to the type of person you are. And type in the chat. If you can, type in the chat, fight, flight, or freeze. Let me know. No overthinking, you guys. Just your quick response. All right. Just notice when you think about that. Did I move towards confrontation? When you think about something mild. Remember, we're talking about a mild incident, a mild trigger. Okay. What did you move? What did you notice that you moved towards? Because the more that you get to familiar with yourself, the more you're going to be able to keep yourself safe. You know, knowledge is power. Okay. Knowledge and then understanding. And hopefully, we'll get before the end of this 26 weeks, we will get towards understanding. All right. So, no overthinking, you guys. Just notice. Now breathe. There's no bad state. Fight, flight, or freeze. There's no bad state. Okay. Each one just protects you. Okay. Each one just protects you. All right. So let's continue, you guys. You ready to continue with me? Okay. Each state shows up in adulthood. So let's go a little deeper. Each one of these states shows up in your adulthood. Fight in adulthood can look like irritability. If you're in fight mode, you'll notice you get irritable. Okay. Defensive, needing to win, controlling the conversation, manipulating the conversation sometimes. Hopefully you don't do that, but if you do, again, it's it's how you're trying to stay safe at that moment. You're not necessarily thinking about, I'm going to do something bad. You're just thinking, how do I survive this moment that I perceive as a threat? And sometimes it's perceived threat, and sometimes it's genuine threat. Sometimes somebody might be talking to you, and you might perceive it as a threat. In actuality, the person is just trying to get clarity. But sometimes you'll go directly into fight mode. I need to control. I need to control this conversation because if I don't control this conversation, I'm not going to stay safe in this conversation. Does it make sense? Okay. So that's the first. A lot of the times, what you'll see in your adult relationships, you'll see a lot of people going into the fight mode when they perceive they're dealing with a threat. Okay, or flight mode. It can look like overwhelmed, just feeling really overwhelmed when some sort of interaction or conversation happens that you perceive or it is a threat. Sometimes it's an actual threat, and sometimes there's a perceived threat. But it doesn't matter if it's a perceived threat or an actual threat. Unfortunately, the body, the body is not able to really determine this is just an emotional threat. It just feels threat. It just hears threat. Protect yourself. Defenses. Go into your defenses, right? Okay. So flight mode, it kind of looks like overworking. You find yourself doing that. Okay. Overworking is a flight mode. It's a response, a trauma response. Okay. A trigger response. Okay. All right. Avoiding hard conversations. That's flight. Oh, I'm just gonna flight. Just gonna get. And sometimes you might go into fight mode, and sometimes you might go into flight mode. Okay. Anxiety, staying busy to avoid feeling, staying busy. Okay. All the time. I'm just gonna stay busy. And then you notice why these people will end up going through burnout, which hey, that's something that we can help you with. Okay. All right. So that's kind of how it works. So we're talking about fight, flight, freeze mode. Freeze can look like procrastination, okay? Numbing, scrolling, emotional shutdown. None of these are moral failures. None of them. Okay? They're nervous system activations. That's what they are. Nervous system activations. Okay? The problem isn't that you react. No, the problem isn't that you react. The problem is when you don't realize you're reacting. That's what the problem is. The problem is not that you're reacting, okay? The problem is that you don't realize you're reacting. That's really the problem, okay? All right. So awareness, okay? Awareness is key. Awareness is key. A lot of people say that, but it's true. Awareness is key. All right. It helps you to create a bit of a choice. If you're a little bit more aware, then you can kind of gauge the direction you take, right? Because a lot of the times when you go into that fight, flight, or freeze mode, you don't even know that's what you're going into. You're already there before you know it. Okay. So let's do a little body mapping. Okay. All right. Let's take another breath. Hold it. 4, 6. We're going to do this. We're going to continue to ground ourselves, teach you how to ground yourself when your nervous system feels activated. And sometimes our nervous system feels activated when we're talking about these types of topics. They're very serious topics, and our nervous system starts to activate because of that. Okay. So close your eyes for a moment. Think about a recent stressful event now. Okay. Scan your body. Okay. Scan your body. Remember, we said we were getting the work done in these 26 weeks. Okay. We're not playing around. We're getting the work done. Okay. So close your eyes for a moment and think about a recent stressful event. Now scan your body. Where did you feel it first? Where did you feel it first? All right. In your chest? Was your chest tight? Okay. Your stomach drop? All right. Did your jaws clench? Okay, did your shoulders tense up? Was there some numbness? Okay, put one hand where you felt it most. Okay, remember, we're getting aware. You just got to wear the fight, flight, or freeze. Hopefully, you're able to see which one you fall into typically. And like I said, you might not fall into the same one every time. Sometimes you might go for fight, sometimes you might go for freeze, sometimes you might even go for fawn, which is a lesser known one, but it is also a trauma response, okay? The nervous system response, okay? So let's get back to this, okay? Did you when you feel is it your chest tight or is it your stomach drop? What happens to you? Do your jaws clench up? Does your shoulders tense up? Or do you just go numb? Because I hear people, I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. When that is a feeling, nothing. This is called numbness. It's an actual feeling. Okay. Do you feel numb? Because that is a feeling. And some people go numb for a reason because the feeling is too much for them. So numbness is their go to. Okay. All right. So put one hand where you felt it the most at in your body. Wherever you felt it, just put your hand there. Anywhere. Okay. In your shoulder, whatever. On your shoulders. Maybe you were tight, tense. You could touch your shoulder and just kind of feel the tightness. Okay. All right. You put your hand where you felt it the most, and that's an early warning sign, you guys. That's an early warning sign that your body is telling you something at that point. They're telling you that, it's like a clue. I call it a clue that your nervous system is activated, okay? So the body is whispering before it starts screaming. So the if you want to start to prevent some of these, reactions, you got to be able to sense what your body is feeling and kind of help your body a little bit, kind of coach your body and work through the situation. But we'll get into that a little bit more, okay, later. The goal isn't to stop reacting overnight though, you guys. I know you're like, I just want to stop reacting, Miss Crystal. I know, I get it. I felt the same way. Yeah, you don't want to feel so triggered all the time, right? I get it. All right. So, goal is to catch it sooner. That's what we're doing here. I'm helping you so that you can start to catch this when it's a clue before you fully go full throttle into this thing. Okay. All right. So, why logic doesn't work when activated? Why does your logic not work? Okay. So When you're in fight, flight, or freeze mode, your prefrontal cortex does what? It goes offline. Yes, which means you can think clearly. Mhm. You can't, I'm sorry, you can't think clearly. You can't think clearly. Okay. You can't communicate clearly because your prefrontal cortex went offline. Okay. So and you can't regulate through reasoning. So you're not in this part of your brain. You're not in the executive brain at that point. You're in the you're not in the prefrontal cortex. You're in the amygdala. You're in the fear center part of the brain. Okay? All right? So, this this is why arguments happen in this and escalate in this state. This is where arguments are escalating the most. Okay? All right? This is why you say things you regret because your brain is offline at this point. You can't think clearly. You're out of, as they say, you're out of your mind. You're kind of out of your mind. Not out of your whole mind. You're in a part of your mind, but just not the part that you need to be in to think clearly. You're in the part of the brain, again, like I said, it's called the amygdala. It's the fear center part of the brain. You are in the survival brain at that point. Okay? So I hope this is helping you. You solve this with regulation. Okay? So I don't like to tell people a problem without telling them how to solve it. Okay, so the way to solve this is through regulation, okay? And the regulation starts with awareness. So you know which one you're in, fight, flight, freeze, or you could be in fawn, but let's just stick to fight, flight, or freeze for right now. And we'll get to the other one later. And yeah, and if you are attuned to your body, this is where you're going to be able to, you know, have a little bit more fortitude here, have a little bit more direction as to what's happening to you at that moment when you're in that state. Let's practice interrupting the activation tonight. That's what we're doing tonight. We're going to practice, we're going to practice it. We're going to practice interrupting activation, interrupting it. Okay, so back, remember we put our feet on the ground at the beginning. So you should, hopefully you took off your shoes and you can put your feet on the ground again. All right. All right, like Miss Crystal's doing. Okay, feet on the ground. Inhale 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6. Now name 5 things you can see. We're grounding. Okay. 4 things you can feel. Okay, like the clock, the picture, the jacket, the desk, the lamp. Okay, something like that. All right. 4 things you can feel. Heartbeat, feet touching the ground. Okay. Hand on my heart. Okay. Stomach. Maybe stomach growling. Okay. 3 things you can hear. The wind outside. It's pretty quiet in here. I hear quietness and I hear my own voice. Okay. All right. Are you guys catching me? You guys catching me? All right. So, okay, 2 things. Okay. So, 3 things you can hear. And then, of course, we say 2 things you like about yourself. 2 things you like about yourself. Okay. And 1 thing you're grateful for. 1 thing you're grateful for. Notice the shift. Regulation is a skill. Okay. So we're getting this regulations. We're going to go over this and go over this and go over this. How to regulate your nervous system when you're in that fight, flight, or freeze mode. You got to know how to do it. Okay. It's not a personality trait, you guys. This is just my personality. This is why I act this. No, it's not personality. I know you really want to claim that. You really want to claim that this is your personality. It's not your personality. You are in what we call survival mode. You're in the middle of a threat. You're activated. You're triggered. Yeah, you're triggered. All right. So your dormant state, okay? Most people have a dominant state. They have a dominant response. What is your dominant response? Okay. What is it? Okay. One state they default under stress. Okay. One state that you default to under stress. What is your state that you default to under stress? I'm sorry, I'm saying it the wrong way. But what is your state that you default to under stress. Okay? Ask yourself, when I feel unsafe, do I move towards control? Remember, that's the fight mode. We said that earlier. Okay? Do I move towards escape? That's the flight mode. What is your normal to go to? Or do I move towards shutdown? Okay, write it down. Okay, you guys, this isn't labeling yourself. Keep that in mind. This is not labeling yourself, it's recognizing your blueprint. Remember, that's what we're here for. We're recognizing our blueprint. Okay, and remember, the state you developed made sense. It kept you safe once. So this is the state that you develop to keep yourself safe, excuse me. So write the sentence if you have a pen and paper. When I was younger, this response helped me by blank. When I was younger, this response helped me by blank. Remember, we are working on your blueprint. Okay. You should be tuning in every week. Okay. Fill in the blank. Maybe it helped you avoid conflict. Maybe there's arguments going on. Okay. Maybe it kept you invisible. Okay. Maybe it helped you succeed. Whatever you had to do, read it back to yourself. Instead of, why am I like this? Say something like, thank you for protecting me. Say that to yourself. Thank you for protecting me. That sentence, it softens the nervous system. Ah, thank you for protecting me. You went into fight mode. Thank you for protecting me. Okay. Not everybody went into a certain mode. Some of us went into certain modes based on what we needed to do. Okay. So say that again to yourself. Thank you for protecting me. And you put your name in there. That's really, really good. Okay. Put your name in there. Okay. So you guys, all right, you guys are amazing. I really, really enjoyed this doing this live with you guys. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Okay. It's going to be on record, it's going to be on replay. Excuse me. We're going to record it. We are recording it. So you should be able to catch this on the show and go over this again before we meet next week again for our next part of this. Okay. Remember, we're doing a blueprint. Okay. Just think of it like 26 therapy sessions with me. 26 therapy sessions. It's for free. Might as well, right? All right. So next week we're going to begin identifying your triggers, not just what triggers you. We're going to identify them. Okay. All right. We want to get deep into this. Okay. Because when we get done, you're going to have a blueprint. And if you didn't get a chance to see last week's, it should be up on the page. Go ahead, take the time, watch last week, catch up to where we are because we're moving fast. We're not going to hold ourselves back this year. This is what 2026, and we got 26 weeks to get it right, to get healed, and to get our trauma under control. Okay? And our reactions to our trauma under control. All right. And I'm going to probably have some bonuses for you. Don't worry. We'll get to that later. Okay. So I really appreciate you guys. I'm Crystal Booth, like I said. This is Trauma Talks. You guys can watch this every week. We're going to be I have some more content coming out very soon this week for you to watch. So yeah, we're going to talk about all types of subjects around the topic of trauma. Okay. And our goal is to come out of burnout, relationship burnout, um, work burnout, okay? And finally, take the positions that God has called us to take in life. Okay? I really appreciate you guys joining me, okay? Thank you for being here. And if you want to, if you're looking for more, why don't you reach out to me? You can reach out to me at it's support at wings of the future, the number 4 us.com, support at wings of the future for us.com. You can reach out to me. We can talk about it. You can get a free assessment. I can talk to you about what's going on. And yeah, I would love to meet you. And yeah, take this to the next step if you're ready. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm ready to take this to the next step. I know enough. I'm ready to get this fixed. 2026. Okay, get it fixed. Hey, I'm here for you. Or, if I can't work with you, then we also have other staff that you might want to work with them. Either way, we're gonna get it done. Okay. We got so many options. Okay. So thank you guys for joining me on Trauma Talks again, and I will see you next week. Okay. Bye bye.